Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been away for a little while, but I'm back, not to worry. And we're back with a bit of a stonker, bit of a special bike, the BMW R NineT. As you may be able to see, it's the 719 option, so you're getting a bit of a special paint job. You're getting a red frame, the retro race cowling on the rear seat as well. Bit of a special bike. This comes in at a premium. It's a modern classic retro style motorcycle in competition with the likes of the Kawasaki Z900 RS or the Triumph Speed Twin. All three quite premium retro motorcycles. BMW is the most expensive of the lot by quite a margin, coming in at £14,100 start off with. Now for the 719, it's a little bit extra for that option for this paintwork. The Kawasaki Z900 and the Triumph Speed Twin are just under £12,000, so this is at best £2,000 more motorcycle than its competition. Gonna go for a ride today. Is it the best in the retro segment? Let's take her for a ride, find out. Okay guys, so just before we get going, something quite unique about the BMW. It's got its Boxer twin engine. It's a 1170cc oil air-cooled Boxer twin. This is a really characterful motor, especially in the oil air-cooled version. And being a heritage bike, that's something that really matters. Now the Kawasaki has a lovely inline 4-cylinder and the Triumph has a lovely parallel twin, but this Boxer twin is quite special when it comes to a retro modern classic motorcycle. It really adds a lot of character. Now bear with me, watch this when I turn the bike on. If you've never ridden one of these Boxer twins, obviously the pistons are mounted horizontally, so they're going side to side, so you really do get a characterful vroom, sort of slight kick to the side when you start it up. Let's see if you can see it. Don't know if you saw that. A slight shunt to the side, and when you come on the throttle, that's not me moving the bike, that is actually the engine's inertia just pushing the bike side to side. Now some people won't like that, they'll think it's a bit strange if you haven't experienced it, but when you jump on a retro bike like this and you get that character from that engine, it really makes sense. It makes you feel like you're riding a proper retro machine. So first off, that is a benefit, I personally think, to the R9T over its competition. The engine, excuse me, trying to speak, the engine feels more retro, more characterful and more involving than the Kawasaki or the Triumph, I would say. Whether it's a better engine, that's up for debate, but retro wise, it's full of character. Oh, there's lots of torque there. Lots of low down torque from the twin. So out of the three, this is just about, oh, speed bump, God, slow down a touch. This is just about the most powerful bike, so 109 horsepower and 116 newton meters of torque. So it's not a lot, but a little bit more powerful than both the Kawasaki and the Triumph. Not quite enough more power to justify over £2,000 more initial buy-in though. So first off the bat, just bundling through town here. What do you notice immediately? Well, immediately I'm noticing the twin analog dials, just brilliant. I wouldn't want anything else on a retro, modern classic, however you want to call them, motorcycle. You got your classic rev counter and speedo on the left there. Also, of course, the engine, the Boxer engine poking out either side. It's such a characterful feature. It really adds to the retro vibe of the bike again. Also, everything is just top quality, typical BMW. The switchgear, very intuitive, relatively simple. Being a retro motorcycle, there's not too much technology. You've got cruise control, very useful, and riding modes, which is also useful. Yeah, it's a lovely meaty engine, full of character and plenty of fun torque to have fun with when rolling on the throttle. So this may be a retro bike, but the performance is nice. It's not a sports bike. It doesn't feel like a modern super fast sports bike. I would describe this as great fun but not intimidating, usable power for the road. But don't get me wrong, this is a quick bike. You really don't need much more than this for the road. It's a 1200 basically cc parallel twin. There's plenty of oomph there with 110 horsepower, plenty enough to have lots of fun with. God, these roads are twisty, and it is handling them quite well actually. Just that torque from the twin just pulling you out really easily from the corners. Lovely to roll on through these corners and just blap out nice and quickly with that torque. It's handling it really well. On top of that, the Boxer twin, there's nice engine braking coming through into these corners, so I'm not really having to use the brakes that much. Yeah, this is a nice ride. Handles really nicely. A little dab on the brakes, very strong. We'll go over specs of all of that in a bit, but everything so far does feel quality. It feels top quality. I'm struggling to pick any faults in it at all, really. It just feels so planted and capable. Yeah, it's a really easy, confidence inspiring bike to ride, unlike I found the Z900, the Kawasaki. I know, don't get me wrong, that's a stunning bike, but I find that a little bit more intimidating, possibly a little bit harder to ride than this. Immediately jumping on the R9T, you just feel filled with confidence, that low center of gravity with the engine, and that really easy, accessible low down torque. It's very easy to ride. Woo! Yes, it's good to get back on a bike again. Also, sounds brilliant, this is a stock exhaust. You've got twin pipes on the left hand side, but it's got a lovely throaty sort of, excuse the term, fart from the exhaust. Just bop, 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 bop. It sounds really nice for a stock exhaust, and you can change it out for an Aquaprovic or various different aftermarket exhausts to make it even better. So there's 3 riding modes, guys. You've got your mode button on the right, you just tap it. You've got road, dyna, which I believe is the sportiest option, just increases the throttle response, I believe, and it does feel a little bit sportier. Then obviously you got rain, and then road. I quite like it in road, to be honest. Being a retro bike, I don't want it too pokey. Ah, what a beautiful day for a ride. On this note, I'd like to say a massive thank you to BMW Dick Lovett. Yes, that is the correct name. Dick Lovett, just outside of Bristol, for lending me the bike for today. Give them a shout, guys, if you're interested. You want to go for a ride on this stunning example, the 719 option. They've got it here ready to go. So many thanks, Dick Lovett, BMW, Bristol. Okay guys, so first initial thoughts on riding the bike. So far, so good. Let's just go over a few specs. I'll give you brake, suspension, weight, seat height, etc. And then we'll get back on the road and go over whether I think this really is the best modern classic, best retro motorcycle of the bunch. The cream of the crop, the premium retro motorcycle, and whether it is worth the price as well, because that is a biggie. It is substantially more expensive than the other quality retro bikes that are brilliant bikes as well. So yeah, let's do some specs, then we'll get back out on the road and I'll give you my final verdict on the R9T. Okay, so specs of the engine. Done it already, let's briefly go again. It's a 1170cc Boxer twin, oil and air cooled, with 109 horsepower and 116 newton meters of torque. As I was saying, it's a fantastically characterful and nice low down torque, easy usable engine to use. I'm going to stop there. I'm just giving you the specs. We'll give you my final review of it in a sec. Okay, on to suspension. Front suspension is upside down 46mm forks with 120mm of travel. Also in this, quite striking against the black and silver tank, the gold forks as well. Looks really nice as well, which is a good benefit. So if I just show you here as well, the front suspension is manually adjustable on the top of the forks here. I believe it is preload and rebound adjustability up forward. So rear suspension, you have a central spring strut with 120mm of travel, the same as up forward, and it is preload and rebound adjustable on the rear as well. Onto the front brakes, you have two 320mm discs with 4-piston radially mounted Brembo calipers. Brakes are very nice on this, nicely dialed in. Like I was saying, you don't actually have to use them too much because of the nice engine braking from the Boxer twin, but when you do, just a dab on the brakes, nicely dialed in, really sort of friendly, strong and sort of tractable, I would say, braking system. Okay, so the rear brakes, you have a single 265mm disc with a 2-piston floating caliper, BMW branded caliper this time. So guys, on that at the rear, I just wanted to point out a nice design feature. It's a single-sided swing arm, as I'm sure you can see. But one major bonus of the BMW R NineT over its rivals, it may not be the most retro, but you have shaft drive. So to me, that is a big bonus. It may not be to some, but I'm a big fan of shaft drive. Less chain maintenance, just less to worry in general maintenance of the bike. That is a point to consider. It does raise the costs, but it is nice to have it there, and it gives it that single-sided swing arm, which does look very nice aesthetically. Okay, last but not least, I'll just give you these specs and I'm going to jump on the road, give you my final verdict. Is it the best retro money can buy? Let's go over the seat height and the weight. So weight, wet weight, fully fueled up, ready to go. It's 221 kilograms. Really not that noticeable. Once you're on, you've got the Boxer engine. All of that weight is so low down and the center of gravity is low down. This is a fantastic handling motorbike. I'm going to reserve my judgment. Stay tuned. Let's just do the specs. 221 kilograms wet weight. 805mm seat height. I'm 5'9", 32-inch leg inseam, very comfortably flat-footed on the ground. It's not the lowest of seat heights. I'll say when you're on the bike you do feel slightly cantered forward, which is a nice feeling. It gives you a slightly more roadster aggressive feeling rather than a sort of laid-back scrambler style. This is definitely more of a road naked bike feeling. But like I say, with that weight down, you can feel where the weight is with the engine nice and low down, very easily maneuverable, easy to handle on the road. Okay guys, standout features of the bike and overall, is it the best modern classic retro motorcycle? Well, standout features. First off is the looks. I think this is a fantastic looking motorcycle in general, and I think close with this and the Kawasaki Z900. The Z900 is slightly more understated in the looks department, could say slightly classier. I'm gonna give it to the BMW R NineT. R NineT wins in the looks department. Build quality, again a very close one. The Triumph Speed Twin, the Kawi and the BMW, they're all top build quality. They are premium retro bikes. I am gonna give it 2. It's really close. The Kawasaki is very nice. I think overall build quality, I'm gonna give it to the BMW again, so that is BMW 2 up at the moment. The next one, a big one, the engine. Now this one is quite controversial. I think the Kawasaki Z900 inline 4 is a fantastic motor. It's more exciting than this, than the Boxer twin, that is for sure. If you want a smooth, exciting engine you can rev out, then you go for the Kawasaki every day, hands down. However, we're riding a retro bike or a modern classic. If we're comparing that subject, the R NineT wins over the Triumph and the Kawasaki again. This Boxer, oh, I love that torque. So easy to ride this. Getting distracted. This Boxer just embodies heritage and classic vibes all over it. It just nails it. I think it's a fantastic motor for that. So engine department, I'm gonna give it to the Beamer again. Also, I just love the way it delivers its power, the usable torque, the engine braking and that low down centre of gravity. It just wins it for me. I'm sorry, but yeah, the Beamer takes it again on the engine. Also, with that engine like that, the suspension setup is a little softer, on the softer side. You can dial it in manually and adjust that, obviously, but the handling is just so confidence inspiring, excuse me. Just adds to the whole package of the bike. That engine plays into the handling, the braking and everything, so it's a big feature on this bike. So I think you can see which way this is heading, but before I give you my final verdict on whether it's worth the money, which is a big question, this bike, I've just noticed something with the riding modes. Like I was saying earlier, you've got rain, road and dynamic. Usually I put a bike generally straight into sport mode or dynamic mode, but something I've very definitely noticed on this R9T is I much prefer it in road mode, the sort of middle mode, over dynamic. Dynamic's just a slightly too peppy for me, slightly too responsive. I find it much more relaxing and enjoyable in road mode, just to sort of roll on, roll off and just enjoy that power a bit more and just chill out a touch. Just thought I'd point that out. And this is just a brilliant motorcycle. It just flicks from left to right and handles so nicely. I mean this in a good way, but a lot of people describe the GS as a tractor in a good way because of the torque, the pulling power. I would almost describe this as the mini tractor. The retro mini tractor. It's got that great solid torque feeling to it. Okay guys, the big one, price. As we come back to Dick Lovett BMW. Regardless of price, do I think this is the best retro modern classic motorcycle on the market today? Yes, I do. I think it wins in most departments as an overall package as a retro bike. Specifically talking retro, mind, bear that in mind. It just embodies the heritage vibe so well. However, when you take that price into consideration, £14,100 entry price, more for this 719 model, and you compare it to the competition like the Z900 RS Kawasaki or the Triumph Speed Twin, two of its main comps, I really struggle to justify that extra price, I'm afraid. Sorry BMW, this is a beautiful machine. If you can afford it and you've got your heart set on the R9T, then by all means go for it. It is a special bike. But if money is an object to you, which it is to a lot of people, let's be honest, you're getting so much from either the Speed Twin or especially the Kawasaki for over £2,000 less than this bike. Taking price into consideration, I just can't give this a title, I'm afraid. It is a bit of a downer for it. Overall, I believe this is the best retro motorcycle, but if you take the price into consideration, I don't think it is the best. There you go, a bit of a roundabout conclusion there, but I don't think that's sitting on the fence. I think that's a practical conclusion. Anywho, thank you very much for watching. It's been great to be back riding and filming for you guys again. Sorry about the lack of videos, but I'm back on it now. I've got some good rides planned and some good videos coming up. If you like the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe and thumbs up like button. Big shout out to mental health awareness. I hope you're all doing happy out there. Keep riding, stay happy, and yeah, I shall see you in the next video. Ciao bella.